What's up, everybody? MTGFoilGuy here. Today I'm coming to you live from the zoo. I don't know if you guys can hear all the monkeys in the background. I actually do live just a block away from a zoo, so the monkeys are out playing today. So I apologize if you hear them in the background, but just bear with me. It's a nice day outside, so I thought I would shoot this outside. So the purpose of today's video is this is for international customers submitting their collectibles to BGS, Beckett Grading Services, to be graded. I'm not going to get into signatures and JSA stuff. I'm just going to talk about a plain old regular submission like you see in front of you here. Specifically for me and for the people that this will be targeting, we will be going over magic cards. I'm not going to get into why choose BGS over some of the other grading companies. That's a personal decision. By clicking on this video or by viewing this video, you've more or less already made that determination, so I'm not going to get into that. I personally choose BGS, but that's a personal choice that I have made. You need to make your own choice. Please do your research to people, see, you know, get some opinions in that, and ultimately come to your own conclusions. Let's get into how to submit your cards as an international customer to Beckett Grading Services. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to determine what cards do we want to send in to get graded, or what services do we want. So, sometimes, you know, maybe nothing wrong with this one, but maybe the case is cracked or something, so you need to get a recasing done. That's perfectly fine. You would select this card. Okay, you may also have raw cards, like here I have a beta fire breathing. So what we're going to talk about in the first part of this video, we're going to go over how I submit my cards and what I do to get them properly ready for shipping. You have a couple different options. What BGS recommends you do and what they try to ask you to do is they try to say send them to us in these card saver 2s. Now this particular one is an Ultra Pro semi-rigid plastic specifically designed for grading submissions. It's the exact same thing as a card saver 2. This is just the Ultra Pro version. So you can submit them in this. This is what they recommend. They do say right on the website that you can put it with a penny sleeve inside the card saver 2, like so. I have an example. It's not a magic card, but you can see here I do have a penny sleeve inside the card saver 2. So this is how they ask that you submit the cards to them. You can put tape on the top if you want. I sometimes do, I sometimes don't, depends on the card. But this is how they prefer that you send them to them. Now I know for some of you European guys in that, you've expressed that you've had difficulties trying to locate these card saver 2. So if that's the case, how I have the fire breathing here, this is also perfectly acceptable as well. Again, penny saver sleeve inside of just a regular top loader, and this is how I will submit my cards. This is perfectly acceptable as well. They don't like it, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing this. This is how I've submitted numerous cards. I know a lot of local guys also submit a lot of cards like this as well. So this is your next best option if you can't do the card saver 2, or in this case the Ultra Pro semi-rigid plastic holder for submission. So these are the two ways you can submit your cards. Once you determine what you want to submit, and once you determine what service level you want to do, or what service type you want to do, which we'll get in more into that later on in the video, you then will go and you will put your cards for your storage, getting them ready for mailing. These are the boxes I use. I actually get these from BGS themselves. This is more for if I'm getting stuff like recased or whatever. As you can see, I just fit them in like that. Any excess space that I have, I will fill it with paper, and I will just jam the paper in there so that everything's nice and tight. The reason why there's the gap here right now is because, as you can see, I took some cards out. But I will pack this nice and tight so there is no loose space. I will close it up. Obviously, I will tape the crap out of this. I will tape the sides as well. So that's the sides here. Now, something that I'm going to mention later on, I don't have it right here right now, but when the BGS official submission form itself, I will actually tape that right here. Okay, so there will be a piece of paper here which will be made clear to you a little bit later on in the video. But I will tape the official BGS submission form here. I will also tape my Excel spreadsheet that I'm going to show you guys a little bit later on. I will tape that here as well. Okay, so I will have two pieces of paper here, as I will have my Excel spreadsheet taped right here. And I'll even so far as put something like read me or look here with an arrow or just something stupid like that. I know it's dumb and it's kind of corny, but I don't want to take any chances with this stuff either. So now that we've prepared our cards for shipment, we've selected what cards we're going to ship, what service type, what service level we want to do. We've figured out how we're going to package our cards. We're now going to get into oh, and then also too, sorry, I do put these in, I do put this in another envelope as well, and then I also ship these FedEx, so it's in a third envelope, so I don't just ship it in a box like this, just to clarify. Now I'm going to get into the BGS submission form itself, as well as this spreadsheet you guys have heard me mention a couple of times now. So join us for part 2 of this video. Thank you guys.
Alright everybody, MTGFoilGuy, welcoming you back to the second part of our BGS submission, international submission process here. As you can see, I have the official Beckett Grading Services form in front of me on the screen, so I thought we would just quickly go through this together and just kind of show you what I do and don't do. I'm also going to go over the Excel spreadsheet that I mentioned in the first part of the video as well. So first, let's go right up to the submission form top here. Your name, pretty self-explanatory. Account number, that's the account number that when you log into Beckett, so whether you first sign up or log in, that's the account number that they provide to you here. It's not a big deal. I honestly don't even fill that out. I either put not sure, don't know, or I just leave it blank. It's never come up. First time submitters, we will assign an account number upon receipt of your order. So there you go. Next, let's go to ship to. Please print clearly. Name, self-explanatory. Address, again, if it's a residential address, your home address, put that. For me, I ship to my business, so I put my business address here. I also check off this little box down below that says business. City, same thing, the city in which you're getting the card shipped to. Now, state, for those of you saying, well, I don't live in a state, I live in a province, or, you know, a territory, or wherever. For me, I live in a province, so I put Ontario. I put the full thing, not the abbreviation, so Ontario. I don't cross out state or anything. I just put the province that I live in. Same with zip here. I don't have a zip code. I have a postal code. I just write my postal code here. Phone number, again, pretty self-explanatory. I just put my business phone number there. And then email. I put the email that's associated with my Beckett account. So the email that I use to sign up for this, that's the email that I use. Again, just to keep things simple and keep things easy going. Now we move on to ship via priority overnight, 2-day, express saver, and ground. Those are all great if you live in the good old USD. We don't, for the purposes of this video, we don't. So I use my FedEx account number here, and then I proceed to write in the account number. If you're shipping it to your home address, or you're not shipping it via FedEx, sorry, just do international shipping, check that off, and keep in mind they will ship USPS and they will provide a tracking number. The first time I did this option, I actually didn't get the tracking number associated with my order, so every time from here on out when I do an order, I email my regional sales rep and I get him to provide the tracking number for me. So, but that's not really come up anymore because I use FedEx, and they since then have put the tracking number associated with my order, so it hasn't really come up. So moving on. Next down here, if you don't get it's important, if you don't get a tracking number, email them and say, hey, here's my order, here's when I sent it in, here's all my information, figure out what happened, and they'll get back to you right away. Again, what I always do too is I actually will either photocopy this or I will scan this sheet before I mail it, so that way I have a copy for myself completely filled out, so you know, just in case, you never know. Next down here we have the cards. This is pretty self-explanatory. Sport, MTG, quantity. Well, do you have one of the card? Do you own 2 copies of the card? Year, for me it's beta, so it's 1993. Set name, beta. Card number, I don't even fill that out. Card player name, Ancestral Recall, Black Lotus, Time Walk, etc. Declared value, I put 0 because I don't want insurance on these. If you want insurance, put the level of insurance you want for the card. To be completely honest, I don't even fill this out. So I went through it with you, but I don't actually fill this out myself. When I submit one of these forms, I just put in big giant letters, C attached spreadsheet. That's all I write. I do not fill this in at all. One more time to recap, all I do is put C attached spreadsheet, and I move on. Next down here you have two different boxes. You have the first one, which just all it says is that they will not grade your cards with a numeric grade. They will simply authenticate the card, and they will put in one of those blue authentication slabs. I don't think we want that. If you do want that, the reasons why you would want that is, let's say you know your card's going to grade a 2 or a 3 or just something low. You basically just want to send it in so that when buyers buy from you, they have more confidence that your card has been authenticated by Beckett, and they can buy with that higher level of satisfaction knowing that it has been certified by a reputable distribution service. I'm not going to get into, well, Beckett may certify a fake, blah, blah, blah. That's not the purpose of this video, so we're not going to get into that. If you have questions or if you yourself feel uncomfortable buying a Beckett authenticated card, that's your business. Next, we have the box that we're most likely going to want to check. This is the one I check, which simply states that your cards, if they are deemed worthy, so that is they are not deemed to be altered, trimmed, recolored, or messed with in any way, then they will seal and authenticate the card. So they will seal, and instead of authenticating the card with the blue authentication tab, they will assign it a numeric grade, and then obviously they will assign it with the 4 numeric grades as well that make up the final grade. In either case, by checking either box, standing grading fees will apply. Next, let's move on. Grading service guarantee. So I'm not going to tell you what to pick here. This is a personal decision. Please do your research, ask around, get advice, but this is something you need to decide on for yourself. I get the 2-day service, but I also submit 1 to 12 cards, so it's not as big a deal for me. So please take your time, do this yourself, figure out what level of service you want. That's a decision you make. Show services only, well, that doesn't apply to us, so we're not going to concern ourselves with it. Calculating money to be paid to BGS. I'm going to be honest, I don't even fill this out. I just completely leave this blank. Trust me, they know what to charge you, and they will charge you accordingly. Having said that, though, I check my credit card statement, and if they don't charge accordingly, well, we will have problems. It hasn't happened yet. I honestly just leave this blank. Payment options. I do fill this out, though. It's important to note that if BGS cannot process your payment, they will not grade your cards. It's that simple. They need to process your payment in full first before they will grade your cards. So I always just have my credit card info ready. To me, it's not a big deal. I will not send a check or money order. If you want to do that, that's your personal decision. I'm just telling you I submit my credit card information. So I check off Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discovery, the card number, the expiry date, pretty straightforward standard stuff, the name of the card holder, the name on the card, and the corresponding signature. I also then sign here, and I date with whatever the current date is. So today it's October 10th. Promotional code, we don't have one in this case. Talk to your local sales rep or your regional sales rep. Maybe they can give you something, maybe they can't. Doesn't hurt to ask. Moving on, we just have the submission rules and instructions. It's important that we're not going to go through and read these, but it's important that you take the time, especially as a first-time submitter. You just go through and read it quickly, make sure you understand everything. I mean, you're signing off saying you understand it, so it doesn't hurt to read up on it. We're going to skip over this, but I highly encourage you check this out first. Next down here, we just get into return postage options. You've already selected which return postage option you would like. For most cases, it's international orders, Global Express, i.e. USPS, and you go from there. Finally, the last thing I want to mention on here is international orders only Global Express mail insurance. Insurance is extremely expensive. It says right here, insurance, $1.25, so $1.25 for every $100 worth of insurance. That's a lot, okay? Usually when I do an order, it's somewhere between $20,000 to $40,000 per shipment. I can't afford insurance on that. Am I recommending you don't get insurance on your package? Absolutely not. That's a decision you need to make for yourself, okay? I cannot help you with that decision. I can't guide you on that decision. I simply tell you what I do with my own cards, but that's what I do. What you do needs to be whatever your level of comfort is and whatever you decide. Again, ask around, get opinions. But ultimately, that's a decision you need to come up with on your own. So I fill this out. I print it out. I print 2 copies, one for myself. Sorry, I photocopy a copy for myself. I submit the original. You can keep the original if you want. Submit the photocopy. I don't think it matters. I only keep a copy of myself just in case there's ever something wrong with my order. It hasn't happened yet, but just in case there is something wrong with the order, I want to make sure I have a copy of what I filled out so I can have that as a reference. So I highly advise you do that as well. The other thing I go ahead and do is, like I said I'd do a Excel spreadsheet. So that's this here. There's nothing too crazy about it. It's just simply, it's just basically the first part here. This part is exactly what I said I don't fill out here. So instead of putting it here, I just simply put it here, and it's got the same information: quantity, year, sport, set name, card. It should say card name. I don't put card number. I can't be bothered. Declared value, again, that's for insurance purposes. So as you can see, I put a bunch of goose eggs, and then what service I would like. So here in this particular case, I'm asking for a 2-day grading service on this ancestral recall. Pretty straightforward stuff. Postage. I would like these cards to be shipped back FedEx International Priority. They will not ship back Priority. I've asked a million times. As you can see with this, I continue to ask. They'll only ship back FedEx International Economy. So please keep that in mind for us international guys. In my experience, instead of it being overnight service, it's a 2-day service. For the guys overseas, that'll obviously vary. But just keep that in mind, that even though I'm specifically asking for international priority, I don't get it. It is what it is. I've argued a million times. It's just what you have to accept. Next, I put my FedEx account number or your home address. I actually put both. I first put my FedEx account number, and then right underneath it I will put, and if for whatever reason you cannot ship to my FedEx account number, here is my home address. Please ship to this. It's just that little extra level, or that little extra layer, in case something goes wrong. Nothing has ever gone wrong yet. Your experience may differ, so I just provide that another alternative for them to ship to if for whatever reason my FedEx account number doesn't quite work or doesn't pop up. Next, I use my Beckett website username. Again, when you sign up or log in here, what is your username? That's what I put in that field. Finally, I have my email. Again, it's just my email that's associated with the with my online Beckett account, and then I put my credit card info. I put that again there twice just in case my printing on the first sheet wasn't sufficient enough. They have it nice and neat right here. Pretty basic sheet, not a whole lot to it, but it has all the information they're looking for. I will submit 2 copies of this. I don't print out a copy for myself because I have it saved, so there's no point in printing out a copy. I print out 2 copies, one on the attached to the outside of the box that my cards are housed in. The other I put on the inside of the box. Why do I do that? Is it overkill? Probably, but that's just the way I am. So I fill out this sheet. I fill out the BGS submission form. I attach those to the box. I mail it FedEx International Priority because I just want my stuff to get there safely and securely. I personally usually do the 2-day shipping the 2-day grading service guarantee just because my cards are usually high value. I don't declare insurance, but that is something you will have to determine on your own. I'm not telling you in any way, shape, or form not to declare insurance. I'm just letting you know what I do. Something to note too, I feel like I should mention is, when I'm at FedEx, or if you're at your carrier or whatever, and they're asking you to declare what they are, I declare these are magic cards. I specifically put on there that they are like, and you know what? Actually, here, sorry, I can. Just wanted to show you here is this is something that I do myself. I print out, or I fill this out here, and I print this out, and when I go to FedEx, I just simply hand them this form. It more or less has all the questions they're going to ask you. So I don't create the shipping label myself. I just go right to the FedEx location, and this is what I give them. So to Beckett Grading Services, there's the address, there's their telephone number. I put my, I don't actually put MTGFoilGuy, I put my name, I put my home address. I don't put my company address here, I just put my home address. Item, what are they? Magic the Gathering trading cards. Now I live in Canada, they don't know what Magic the Gathering trading cards are, so I simply explained to them they're exactly like hockey cards. The only difference is instead of having Mario Lemieux or Wayne Gretzky on the card, you have a picture of a goblin on the card. Usually when I explain it to them like that, they instantly know what I'm talking about. As corny as that is, it works. Quantity, I've got, in this particular case, I've said I've got 10 cards. Declaration, I put 0. Origin, I know these are technically from Belgium, but trying to explain that to them and trying to get that through customs, it's just easier for me to say USA. I'm not recommending whatsoever you do that. That's just something I do. I just found it's easier than saying Belgium. Finally, I let them know here that Beckett is performing a service and then sending the 10 cards back to me as returned goods. I've specifically used the wording returned goods. What that means is it's important for them to know that there is no sale taking place. This is not a gift. This is not a sale. The only thing you may potentially get charged customs on, or Beckett themselves may get charged customs on, is the fee in which they are charging to perform the service. Now, I personally have never been charged duty on getting these cards serviced, but it may happen to you, so please be aware of that, okay? In which case you could get charged for the service in which Beckett performed and the associated pricing that goes along with that. Like I said, it has not happened to me yet, but I don't want to say it will not happen to you. It may, okay? So that's why I put that they do put as returned goods. Beckett will send it back as returned goods as well. That's also something to note. So I fill this out, I print it out, I give it to my Beckett office. This pretty much gives them all the information they're looking for. Once Beckett receives your order, they will send you an email that says as such, "Hi, so-and-so, we've received your order." They give you the friendly reminder that the day in which they received their order does not count towards your grading plan. So if you did the 2-day service, it'll actually be 3 days, 1 day for them to receive the package, and then the 2-day grading service guarantee in which they grade your cards. So here's, you can track your orders. This is an old order of mine. They received it on December 23rd, 2014. Now, due to holidays and stuff, the 2-day service worked out to December 30th, 2014. They graded 5 cards. There, they provided me with my tracking number. This one they shipped USPS. I'm not going to try to see if the tracking number will come up, but there's the tracking number there. Shipped via Global Express Mail. Here you can see there's the serial numbers for the cards. Here's the card names. These were some alpha power that I submitted. And there you can see the final grades, 85859, 8585. And then you can go to the pop report and you can view these. So there you have it. I hope that answered most of your guys' questions. If you have any questions or anything specific you'd like to ask me, maybe there's something I left out of this video, by all means, please feel free to message me on the graded forums. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.